Linnea here for iCrafter. Today we're taking a look at the Box Pops Dinosaur add-on die set. This is a really fun die set and it goes with the Box Pops oval base die set. It's meant to pair with the original die set. You can see here that this is a 5-piece die set. That little rawr sentiment is actually made up of 2 pieces, but you're going to get that little Stegosaurus dinosaur that's perfect to add on with the pop-up piece from the original Box Pops oval base die set. You'll get that large T-Rex die that will cut out some grass, and then of course that adorable little rawr sentiment. Here's the original Box Pops oval base die set, and from this I'm just going to grab a couple of pieces. I need the base die, which is that large die you see on the screen now. You can add one of 2 inserts into this die set that's going to allow you to have that little Stegosaurus standing in front of the T-Rex. There's a pop-in die that's going to cut a little slit slightly off center, and then a secondary one that's going to cut a slit in the Box Pop oval base that is centered. So you can decide which piece you want to use. I went with the one that was slightly off-centered. And then also from that original die set, I'm going to be using this little stand die that's going to allow me to create a little stand for my Stegosaurus to stand up on. So to create the Box Pop oval base, you're going to need that large base die, and then I am going to be popping in that die that's going to cut that slit off to the side. That'll be my first piece. For my second piece, I'm going to cut only the base die piece. I don't want to have another slit in my second piece. Just one of the pieces, just the one that I'll put up front. I picked out some kind of neutral colored pattern papers. One is this kind of rusty orange color. Then I have this beige color, and I'm going to cut out each of the little dinos from this pattern paper, as well as from the same color green cardstock that I used to cut the oval base. I die cut the grass from some tan cardstock, and I'm using my iClick pick to poke out all of those little grass pieces. So now I have all the pieces that I need. I also cut out that rawr sentiment, and I used the same craft color cardstock for that. Let's start assembling the oval base. So I'm taking one of the pieces here. Each one of these pieces is going to create half of the oval base. There are multiple score lines, so I'm just going to score or fold on the score lines to reinforce those lines. And I'm using my iPress burnisher to really press and reinforce those score lines. Because this is an interactive card, you want to make sure that all of those score lines are really well creased and that they're going to fold back and forth easily. I'm going to repeat this process on the second piece. Like I said, each one of these pieces is going to form half of the oval base, and then we'll glue them together. I'm using some double-sided tape and just putting it right on that little notch, and then folding up that outer wall shape. And now you can see here, this has formed half of the oval. Then I'll repeat with that second piece, again just folding down and adding some double-sided adhesive. You could use liquid adhesive if you'd rather, on that little tab, and then folding up what's going to form that outer wall. And then when you put both of these together, you can see here it's going to form your full oval base. For this card, I wanted to add the grassy pieces before I put the box together. So I went ahead and I undid what I had just taped together, and I'm going to add the grass so that I can tuck that down actually kind of inside of the Box Pop base piece. I'm taking all of those little pieces of grass and just adding a little bit of liquid adhesive and just lining them up on the inside and kind of pushing them down further inside of the Box Pop oval base, so you're not going to be able to see all the ugliness of the inside piece. I'm also going to take that stand that I'm going to have my little Stegosaurus stand on, and I'm going to fold on the score line and add some double-sided adhesive onto the bottom. And then the bottom of the stand piece is going to adhere to the bottom of the oval base. So I'm just tucking it right through that little slit that we cut, and then you can see how this is going to start to come together, and the little Stegosaurus will stand up on that. I'm going to add another piece of double-sided adhesive onto that little tab, and now I'll fold it up. So depending on how you want your design to look, you're going to want to fold this up either before or after you add your grass. I decided to undo mine and add my grass first, just because I thought that it would look more finished that way. So again, here's half of my oval base, and now I can glue these two pieces together. Before I do that though, I want to make sure that I add my dinosaurs in. I cut the large T-Rex image from the pattern paper as well as from that same dark green cardstock that I cut the base from. And I thought that would just add a little bit of a shadow, like a drop shadow. So I'm going to glue these two pieces together, slightly offsetting them, so that I have just a little bit of a shadow, creating some dimension behind my little dinosaur here. And I did the same thing with the Stegosaurus. Now I want to add that dinosaur onto the center piece of my Box Pops card. And here's where I realized he has quite a long tail. So you want to make sure that that tail is going to be inside of your Box Pop oval base so that you can easily fold this up and down. So I had to scoot him over, and in the end I actually had to scoot him over just a little bit more because his tail was just on the edge. Here's where you're going to want to add your ovals together, making sure to get adhesive on both of those little tabs on the side because you want those to be really well adhered together. Now I'm going to glue the outer walls of my Box Pop oval base together. You can use liquid adhesive or double-sided tape adhesive. For this, I like to use the liquid adhesive just in case I didn't get things lined up just perfectly. The liquid adhesive lets me shift that around and make sure that it's lined up perfectly. Then I'm going to just pinch those sides for a little while to make sure that they are well adhered. Now the last thing to do is to just add my little Stegosaurus onto that little stand. Now his tail is a little bit long, so all I did was kind of take my fingers and curl that cardstock around on itself to match the curvature of the oval base. That's going to allow me to just kind of make sure that that Stegosaurus is going to stay inside of the walls of this oval base card. I am using my iGrip flathead tweezers to hold him in place because my fingers are kind of big and it was much easier to use my tweezers and hold him in place while that glue dried. I'll add my rawr sentiment onto the front of my oval base card here. Again, using my iGrip flathead tweezers because that just makes my life easier to use those tweezers. And this card will be completed. Once that glue is all dried, you can pop him up and down. So here's the completed card. If you want to pop it down, you're going to push right on the sides of that crease. So I like to put my fingers on either side of the dinosaur and just push down right on that center crease line. You can see how this folds flat, and you're going to be able to fit this into an A2 sized envelope. To pop it back up, put your hands on the side of the Box Pop oval base card and push in and then pop those little tabs up into place. Thanks so much for joining me today for a look at the Box Pops Dinosaur add-on die set. You can find more inspiration on the icrafter website as well as the icrafter YouTube channel. And I'll see you soon. Bye!